I think, well, I haven't mentioned it yet, but our record was 13-87 at Newberry College. So, you know, 10-year-old Dan was not expecting that, but the guys that I graduated with were very resilient and determined to make it through those 4 years. It wasn't always easy, but we did. So I would say my passion trying to learn from the best teams kind of developed while in college. So we were losing a lot, but we did have a lot of positives within our program, but limited resources. Like we didn't have our own basketball gym. We had so we could only really use it during the season. And just other things that made it tough, like kids from Boston commuting and they had other jobs. So it was very tough. A lot of moving parts for our coaching staff to try to work with. So, you know, the record sounds a lot worse than it probably was. But I think my passion for just learning and kind of what we just talked about, I reached out to every college in Boston. So Boston College, Boston University, Harvard, Northeastern, and Tufts were like the five big time schools in the area. And they invited me to practice, to workouts, games. So I just sat there and listened and brought my notebook and took notes and asked a lot of questions. And I think my passion for trying to be around the game and learn as much as I could kind of developed while being at Newberry.
Was there ever the thought about transferring to a different college, or you were just going to stick it out until the end?
So financially, as you know, a lot of people go through as well. Newberry wasn't the cheapest school; it was a small private school. So my first day of college, when my mom dropped me off, I uh, I saw the word resident assistant on the door a few doors down from my room, and my mom was like, "Go talk to that guy. Like you need to do this." And I was like, "What is that? Like I just got to school. Like let me just enjoy this moment." And I found out that being a resident assistant among being a leadership position, it also allowed me to have room and board paid for, which was a lot of money. So I was very fortunate as a sophomore to get that and hold that position for 3 years. So when you talk about transferring, I think I was going to potentially have to or be in a lot of debt. So that really helped keep me there. And I also think my twin brother, he went to Syracuse, and we had never been apart with each other for more than a week. So I think initially I wanted to go and try to be a manager with him or be a walk on and probably never play, but just be a part of a great program. But that was also an expensive school too, so that didn't really make sense either. And yeah, so in terms of transferring, I think the support system, having my mom and dad and siblings just keep encouraging me. I think it's tough when you win at most 4 games in a season was our high. So you got to have outside resources and people trying to help you stay motivated and positive.
From your overall college experience, what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself?
It's a great question. I think my ability to get along with anybody, and that's something that I think I get from my dad. He was willing to talk to anybody, never judged a book by its cover. Just if somebody was willing to talk with him, he would be more than happy to talk their ear off, and probably more than they expected in the beginning when he started talking to them. But we could be at the airport or at the grocery store. It didn't matter. He would just, just start a conversation with anybody. So I think that, and then also just growing up with my mom also doing very nice things like paying it forward. Like if we're at like a convenience store and somebody's a few cents short, she would always try to help out and things like that. So just kind of both of my parents being such good people and being very open to learning about others. I think at Newberry being such a small school, I was able to just say hi and smile to everybody, and kind of what we just talked about, being persistent. There's a lot of times I would be like, "Hey, Alex," and I wouldn't get a response, and that's okay. Like I'm still going to try and smile, and maybe it helps you. And most people said hi back to me, so that was a good thing. But yeah, I just say my ability to connect with others, especially from a lot of different backgrounds and religions and sexual preferences, like all those kind of things. I think just getting to know people